the other tutorials, once you have set up your simulation, you're told to run this simulation by clicking on the Run AlphaSim button, or alternatively by going to File, Run AS, which does the exact same thing. Sometimes you don't want to run AlphaSim from the graphical user interface. When you actually select Run AlphaSim, it will create a folder for you, and inside this folder, inside replication 1, it will create base, and then it will actually run this AlphaSim 1.07 executable and generate parameter files for that executable, which it stores in spec files. So it will do this for base, and when you go into selection scenario, you will also have your spec files as well. So sometimes you don't want to actually run all of the spec files there and then. Instead, you might want to examine the spec file, or if you're doing more complicated simulations, you can generate a spec file with the graphical user interface and then manually modify it before running AlphaSim. This offers you the opportunity to do things such as import your own initial haplotypes rather than using Max to generate them, to set the positions of your SNPs, to set the positions of your QTNs, or to set whether your QTNs have clustering, and various other options. So rather than running it immediately, what it is possible to do is to go to your simulation. Here, this is a new simulation called tutorial, where I'm just going to make a few modules to run. And inside your simulation parameters, or your scenario parameters, at your additional parameters, you can choose the option spec files. And what spec files will do is that it will generate in the folder that you are running the graphical user interface from a folder called tutorials, which is the same, only now it is only writing out the required spec files. So here you can see that each module is a separate run of AlphaSim, and so you have 4 different spec files available to you. If you are running it on a cluster, you can also write out a bash script where we can set it to be the default, which is the operating system that you are currently running it on, but we can also set it to be for a Windows machine, or an OS X/Macintosh machine, or a Linux machine. And what this will do is, inside our tutorial replication 1 base folder, we will now have a file called bash script. And when we look at bash script, we can see that this is just a very, very simple bash script to run AlphaSim for you. So here we can see it's just running AlphaSim 1.07 4 times in a row, and then stepping back out to the replications folder. Another additional parameter is that you have the replications option, and in the replications option we can set how many replications of your simulation you want to simulate. Each replication is identical but starts with a different random seed, and so you can see what the effect of multiple simulations is like. When you choose your replications, as I have mentioned, there will be inside the actual scenario or simulation folder, my apologies, you will have a replication folder for each replication. Finally, sometimes it is useful to view what your overall simulation is, and to do this you can select overall image. Overall image will generate a PNG in your main folder, and this PNG will have the simulation parameters at the top, and underneath it, it will have the scenarios, the different generations that are being simulated at the bottom. So that's just a way that you can get an overall view of your simulation parameters.